Hi, good morning. My name is Father Rayappa. Today, I want to discuss about one of the greatest events in human history, that is resurrection. Jesus Christ risen from the dead. That is the epicenter of Christianity. So, before Jesus, the concept of resurrection, was it prevalent among humanity, human beings? Yeah, if you do research, you can find Egypt is the land believed in afterlife. So Egyptians celebrated. They thought their king is the first and foremost, and he will come back. The idea of resurrection was confined only to the king of Egypt. Only he came back to life. But later, that was in the old kingdom, but in the new kingdom, I think that idea was extended even to the subjects. It is called as democratization of afterlife. So, let us discuss about the belief in resurrection in Egyptian culture. So I came across this article on the internet, Ancient Egypt and the Afterlife, especially the god Osiris, the god of death and resurrection. Osiris was called Lord of Lords, King of Kings, and God of Gods by the Egyptians. According to the scholar E.A.W. Bird, Osiris was the god man who suffered and died and rose again and reigned eternally in heaven. The Egyptians believed that they would inherit eternal life just as he had done. The ancient myths proclaim that Osiris first received renown as a peaceful leader of a higher culture in the eastern delta of Egypt, then as a powerful ruler over all the delta, a veritable god of the Nile and its vegetation, growth, life, and culture. He was the husband of Isis, goddess of enchantment and magic, father of the great war god Horus, and finally conqueror of northern Upper Egypt, with his principal city at Abydos. It was then that he came into conflict with Seth, who killed and dismembered him. The dark mist of death didn't eliminate Osiris. Quite the opposite, in fact, for Isis' incarnation of the divine mother goddess used her magic to put him back together. Osiris rose from the dead and became for all of his followers a god of resurrection. The cult of Osiris was established at Abydos in Egypt, where he became known as the Lord of the Death or Lord of the West, referring to his mastery over all those who had traveled west into the sunset of death. The theology of Osiris, which promised resurrection, soon overshadowed that of the sun god Ra and became the dominant feature of all Egyptian religion. Ra was a creator god, fundamentally solar, a king by nature, whose theology concerned itself with the world, its origin, creation, and the laws that governed it. Osiris and his doctrines were concerned with the problems of life, death, resurrection, And in afterlife, the connection between the two deities was Horus, who was the sky god of the heavens, and also the dutiful son and heir of Osiris. The general influence of Ra and Osiris can be traced back to the time of the pyramid text and forward to the decline of Egyptian religious history. The cosmology of Osiris may be divided into two periods. The earlier one extended up until the time of the pyramid text, during which he was a peaceful political power, an administrator of a higher culture, the unifying factor in bringing the Delta and northern Upper Egypt into one realm, the ideal husband and father, and after his death, the God of resurrection. The second period extended from the time of the pyramid text to the common era, when he was primarily God of the dead and king of the underworld. When an ancient Egyptian died, the deceased expected to appear before Osiris, who would be sitting upon his throne, waiting to pass judgment on him or her. The deceased would be led in by the jackal-headed god Anubis, followed by the goddess Isis, the divine enchantress representing life, the goddess of the underworld, Nephthys representing death. There were 42 divine judges to assess the life of the one who stood before them, and the deceased would be allowed to deny 42 misdeeds once the deceased had presented his or her case. Osiris indicated a large pair of balances before them, with the heart of the deceased and the feather of truth, one in each of the pans. The god Thoth read and recorded the decision. Standing in the shadows was a monstrous creature prepared to devour the deceased, should the feather of truth over or outweigh his or her heart. In those instances, when the heart outweighed the feather, and few devout Egyptians could really believe that their beloved Osiris would condemn them, the deceased was permitted to proceed to the fields of Alu, the world where the gods lived. Because humans were the offspring of the gods, the fields of Alu offered an eternal association and loving companionship with the deities. This, the ancient Egyptians believed, was the natural order of things. They had no doubts about immortality. In their cosmology, their blessed afterlife was a certainty. So, belief in afterlife is very old, very old. As humans, you can go back even to Neanderthal. We are talking about some 300,000 years ago, when the Neanderthal, they lived. They buried their dead, and they used the incense, they used artifacts, religious artifacts, and they used flowers to mark that this body is not corrupt for eternity. This body is going to come back. So the resurrection is it's a biological trait in human DNA makeup, I guess. So it's born with human DNA as we became human, maybe from our prototypes of monkeys or apes. And when we became Homo, that is the time this kind of feeling, that is quest for afterlife, has evolved. So I think this is great feeling, and also only feeling in Homo sapiens. We don't know other primates like apes or other monkeys or other mammals are capable of thinking that they're going to die and they're going to come back. No, I don't think so. Only humans have the awareness that we are going to die. All other life on earth, they don't know they're going to die. So we know we pay a heavy price for that. You know that. So we pay the price for that because we also believe that we are going to live for eternity. We are eternal beings. So thank you and have a nice day.